Hello everyone, my name is Nicholas Cern. I'm a graduate student at Slippery Rock University, focused on incorporating sustainability into the business environment. Thank you for participating in my webinar today. This webinar is brought to you by Dr. Nancy Bartlett-Smith's Seminar in Professional Writing. Today I'm going to be talking to you about ways to green your business's marketing strategy. This webinar will be recorded and archived on my website, nicholascern.com, for your reference. I have provided a graphic organizer which outlines the main topics I am going to be talking about. You will see the middle portion of this discussion focus on sustainable considerations that can be taken by businesses at each step of the marketing mix. Some examples are also provided to show how real businesses have improved their sustainable performance and marketing strategies. The last portion will be a question and answer segment where you can ask questions about the information I covered today. I wanted to start off by showing logos of some of the best global green brands of 2011 according to Interbrand, a worldwide brand management company. These are the top 12 on that list. The criteria for placement was based on governance, stakeholder engagement, operations, supply chain, transportation and logistics, and product and services. Consumers began to take notice of environmental irresponsibility roughly 5 decades ago. This timeline shows the emergence of the green consumer. The text on this slide explains concerns that were presented during the time period, and the photos above show industries that were most affected by these concerns. In the 1970s, consumers became concerned over pollution, resource depletion, and population growth. A handful of industries, including auto, chemicals, and oil, were scrutinized. Concerns widened in the 1980s when consumers looked for environmental responsibility in household products, cosmetics, tourism, and food industries. It was during this time that companies began to recognize the emergence of the green consumer. In the 1990s, brought emphasis on not only environmental responsibility but also sustainability. Impacts of globalization triggered businesses to begin focusing on corporate social responsibility in the 2000s. Today, consumers are looking for environmental and corporate responsibility in all products, from clothing and pet toys to TVs and trains. You can use the 4 P's of the marketing mix as a guide to reevaluate and improve your business's marketing strategy, step by step. Since most of our audience is probably familiar with the 4 P's, I will only briefly explain each element. The first P, product, concerns the actual product or service being offered to consumers. The second, price, concerns the cost that the customer must pay. Third, place, concerns the location or product and or distribution strategies that are used to please customers. And finally, promotion, concerns communication with various customer markets in order to generate sales. For each of the 4 P's, I will now explain ways that your business can change its operation and marketing to be more environmentally friendly. Product is the most studied element in the marketing mix. It is also probably the most important because it is always in the eyes of the public. Packaging is also considered under product. Many companies have integrated environmental considerations into the design process, creating products and packaging that use fewer materials to create a product. As a result, smaller products will need less packaging, creating products that are more energy efficient and contain fewer harmful chemicals. And this will allow for the refurbishment and recycling of these products. Here's an example. After Apple conducted a complete life cycle assessment, the company discovered that 98% of its footprint is directly associated with the products. Only 2% of its footprint came from its facilities. Learning this information prompted Apple to improve on the development of its products. Their goal is to create smaller, thinner, and lighter products, remove toxic substances, participate in responsible manufacturing, design smaller packaging, increase energy efficiency in products, improve product recyclability, develop longer lasting products, and implement recycling programs. There are many ways price can be adjusted to promote sustainability. One way is by shifting to new methods of ownership. Our culture is accustomed to buying as opposed to leasing. By shifting the methods of ownership to leasing, products can be reused many times before seeing the end of a life cycle. Netflix is a great example of a company that has succeeded in shifting ownership by implementing unlimited rentals for monthly subscription. This shift is not only good for the environment, but can also bring a profit for businesses. Products can be sold a number of times for a profit, instead of just once. A business can also lease or sell products at a higher price after the entitled lease agreement ends, despite the reduction in value. Best Buy is another good example of a company that has changed its pricing model to benefit environmental as well as the bottom line. The buyback program offers customers the opportunity to return products within a 2-year period in exchange for 10 to 50% of the item's original value for a store credit. Where Best Buy makes its money is in a required upfront fee, which varies depending on the product being sold. The benefits for the customer include the ability to upgrade easily from outdated products and the convenience of disposal. The benefits for Best Buy include revenue gain from the upfront fee and additional products purchased with the store credit, and the ability to potentially reuse parts or sell them back to the manufacturer. Many companies are developing and using technology that increase resource efficiency and reduce waste and pollution in their facilities. Companies are incorporating sustainable business practices into their facilities by designing and constructing greener buildings, reducing energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions, and targeting and eliminating waste. In transport and delivery operations, companies are reducing emissions associated with employee commutes with employer-sponsored shuttles, adapting smart distribution system where sea transportation is used in place of air, and finally, many companies are participating in SmartWay transportation programs to monitor and reduce transportation impacts, which is sponsored by the EPA. Walmart is one company working hard to increase efficiency in their transportation and delivery operations. The logistics division aims to double the efficiency of its U.S. fleet by 2015 by putting a significant effort into reducing the miles driven and loading trailers more effectively. Walmart has improved fleet efficiency by 60% compared to their 2005 baseline. By driving fewer miles, Walmart's fleet avoided emitting approximately 145,000 metric tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. There are many ways that a company can change its promotion to be more sustainable. A company could shift its direct marketing campaign to include email, internet, social media, and website communications. Doing so will reduce environmental impacts and reduce paper, ink, and transportation costs associated with traditional printed advertising. Video conferencing, such as client calls or webinars like this, could be used to eliminate costs and impacts associated with traveling. This is one may seem obvious, but when marketing any product to the public, it is so important to make sure that your claims are accurate. False claims cause a green consumer to turn their back on the company forever. Substantial claims are key to any successful environmental campaign. Pepsi was the first company to shift a large portion of its advertising budget from traditional to interactive and social media. The Pepsi Refresh Project promoted corporate social responsibility through a unique campaign that invested in community building projects. It also promoted environmental responsibility by primarily developing online marketing materials as opposed to traditional print and media. The payoff of this experiment in corporate social and environmental responsibility was positive and ongoing customer connections. The switch from traditional media made customers feel as if Pepsi supported their individual community. This concludes the webinar portion of this presentation. Here's a list of sources I used. Now we are going to be moving on to the question and answer segment. If you have any questions, please send them through the WebEx chat feature. Since there doesn't seem to be any questions, and we're running short on time, please feel free to email me with your questions and comments. As I said earlier, this webinar has been recorded and will be archived on nicholassarin.com for future reference. Thank you for taking the time to participate in this webinar, and I hope you learned some valuable ways to green your marketing strategy.